So Atharva, thank you again for some live media. Very, very good. Amazing questions that you have always come up with. This is an amazing question about the Mahabharat where it was asked that why it took 100 births, why 100 of the Kauravas were killed in front of the mother and the father, Dhritarashtra and his wife. And he was like, why did it take so long? So for understanding this, the first thing that we have to understand is we have to understand this by an example of the silo grains. So these are the grains which are put in a silo, which is like which shows how our karma determines the future. If rotten grains are put in a silo, that means in the villages they have this thing called a silo where they put grains, and when they put grains and then they open the tap from down, the grains come out. So the example is like that: if rotten grains are put in the silo, then the good grains are added later. So opening it from the bottom will release all the rotten grains. If we perform good acts, we put good grains inside. But if we do cruel and hypocritical acts, yes, we do wrong things, we do something called vikarma, that means against the scriptural injunctions, we are adding horrible rotten grains to our silo. So our life is compared like a silo where the grains are put in of good and bad, basically. So good and bad things happen to good people based on their karma. So sometimes we see that there's someone who's doing really bad things, yes, but only good things are happening to him. He's already put in good grains, yes, but now that he's doing some bad, wrong activities against the scriptural injunctions, then he'll have to suffer the consequences of it later. So in general, our good karma and bad karma do not cancel each other. Our lives are filled with both happy and distressful situations all the time. For instance, if we sow 7 mango seeds of good karma and 3 neem seeds of bad karma, yes, in our lives, they do not cancel each other out. Similarly, if we killed someone or behaved nicely towards another, we would be punished for the sin of killing that person and rewarded with the positives, that is good karma, for being nice towards the other person. So this is how the cyclic karma, the karma cycle works. Now going back to your question, why did it take so long? So it took so long because you need a lot of punya first to get this human body. You need an immense amount of punya. This human body is not attained. There are 8.4 million species of life forms transmigrating, and then the soul finally comes to the human body. So he had to collect n number of punya first. In the past, it was seen when there's a flashback and the Lord reveals the truth. Yeah, the Lord was asked this question, that why did this happen to me? The wife of Dhritarashtra, who had blindfolded herself, she asked this question: why in front of me all my kids have died? That's like the most torturous thing for a mother, and not 100 children. So it goes behind, and then it is seen that he had been a hunter and he had hunted some 100 birds, yes, and he had killed them, and the mother and the father of the bird, he had blinded them. So he had to go through blindness himself, and then in front of him all the 100, so he had to go through the equivalent pain of what the mother and father of the pigeon birds who had been going through for their little siblings being killed. So this is how, in a nutshell, the explanation of this karma. And then in front of them, in the battlefield, all the 100 children, they had, the Kauravas, they had to die, and the mother had to bear equivalently that kind of pain. So it took a lot of punya first. So it took lifetimes for that punya to collect. Finally, they were king and queen, and then they had these children, and in front of them, they were slaughtered.